Howdy from Texas. Um, no politics today. I'm going to talk about grounding. What is grounding? Well, it's a lot of things that I could talk for days upon, and I have alluded and talked about it in the past few years that I've been doing these things. So I'll try to keep this brief and just touch on subjects. Grounding, and I've mentioned it, as I said, a lot in my videos and a lot in my posts. Stay grounded, find your true self, stay anchored in the storm, find your peace, find your grounding. Well, grounding is just that. It's finding your inner peace, finding what makes you happy, finding your strength in the storm of life that's always tossing around us. And how do we do that? Well, there's many different ways to be grounded. Well, one of the first things that I did, among a lot of other people do, is we have to stop, take a deep breath, and address the things that are inside that we're not letting out. Emotions, especially guys. We tend to just shove down these, whether it's hatred, these bad emotions, hatred, jealousy, anger, just a lot of things that we keep inside that manifest itself in bad ways, from behaviors to mental problems to physical ailments. I mean, mainstream science has shown that keeping bad emotions down and keeping a lot of anger and worry and things inside manifests itself in disease. So we have to go down inside ourselves, peel the layers of the onions back, and let that stuff out and address it on what might be driving us in ways we don't like. We can do it that way. We also get very introspective. With everything that we have now to keep us distracted, many people do not want to face those very uncomfortable emotions or very uncomfortable memories or things in life we don't want to address. We just keep running along 100 miles an hour on the spinning wheel and we avoid it all, especially through social media and all these devices like I'm talking on now. We just keep distracted. We don't take time for ourselves or to look inward. So being grounded you can do it in many ways. It's finding that inner peace. It's taking a deep breath and just sitting in introspection. In the old days, you used to be sitting in front of a campfire. New days too. I just did that last month. Things that slow our brain down, things that stop and we end up thinking about ourselves, thinking for ourselves, finding our peace. So grounding comes from meditation, from anything that keeps our mind off of running that 60,000 thoughts a day. That can be a hobby. That could be listening to music. That could be walking in the woods. That could be camping. It could be a lot of things. It starts there. It's able to slow down and we're able to look inside ourselves and find our strengths. So we're not always either running scared or not really knowing what we're doing. So once we find that grounding, a new perspective starts to come. And we're able to see things from a new perspective. This is a lot of work. This is a lot of things that I've talked about, but it's days and days of discussion. For me, it started with doing what I just talked about years ago when I came back from LA, slowing down, starting to see what was driving me inside, a lot of the negative things that I had. But grounding also comes from, doing the work, doing the hard work, the introspection, all those sort of things. Grounding also is a physical thing. We stay grounded, as in, for instance, we, with the advent of a lot of technology and the way we've been living, we're living in high rises now, and especially those in the cities. We're on concrete. We're wearing shoes that have been rubber soled shoes for 50, 60, 70 years now, and we've lost contact with the earth. There is science again has proven, mainstream science, but those of us in the metaphysical fields too know that contact with the earth, being grounded to the earth vibration and all sorts of things, comes with fantastic health. There's a documentary out there called Grounding, I believe is what it is. It's worth watching. But because of the rubber-soled shoes, the living in high rises, the floors, everything, our feet have lost touch with the earth, which is very, very important. I see a lot of these new trends happening with the younger generation, or like in Japan or different countries where they call foresting, or there's new words for what is just what I always thought was natural, and that's taking our shoes off and walking in the sand or walking in on a dirt trail or something like that. So that's very important. So you want to really try to be in contact with the earth at some point, at least as much as you can. For me, for years, I get up in the morning after exercise or whatever I do, and then I go and I sit in my little lawn chair out in the sun. I get the vitamin D3, and I stick my feeties wherever I'm at my feet in the sand, in the dirt, in the grass, wherever I'm at, and I get that grounding, and I drink my coffee for 2 hours. Um, it does tremendous benefits. There's also these now out in the market. There's things called grounding sheets, grounding blankets, or literally blanket sheets, foot pads that you can, as you're working at a desk, you put your feet on it. Pads you put in the kitchen if you're doing work or dishes. That either plug into the electrical current, which gives you a grounding through your feet, or it has a metal rod that you just shove in the earth that gives you grounding that way while you're sleeping. There's a lot of ways to do this if you happen to be living in a city or things like that. It's very important. A lot of information is coming out on this now. Things that people in my circles have known for decades. It's starting to hit mainstream. So you really there's a lot of easy ways to take care of yourself and help towards your ultimate wellness by doing a lot of these little things. Part of that too is these. I wanted to show these. These are called Earth Runners. The brand name is Earth Runners. And during the summer when I'm in Texas, any time that it's not too cold, I'm wearing these things. Basically, the soles are made out of a natural product. They're not rubber. So it's getting the grounding wherever I'm at, and there's copper at the end of these, you can see, and they're sandals that have copper inlays here that help with the grounding. So they also are pretty good hiking, not intense hiking, but easy hiking. You know, and they're great in the water and things like that. I've had this pair for 2 years, and I've walked a lot in these things. You know. So they're called, I recommend this brand. I'm not getting any money for this anyway. It took me a while to find this, but they're called Earth Runners. They have them for men and women, all different kinds. There was another pair I used to wear called Xeros, spelled Xeros, but I didn't care for them too much. They broke on me the first pair I bought the first year, and then I found out they were made in China. And I'm boycotting anything made in China. These are made in the good old US of A, which, by the way, we're a lot of us are starting parallel economies in the United States here, buying nothing but local and buying things bought in the U.S. It's another video for another time. But these things are great. So just find ways to be grounded. Find ways to find your peace. Find ways to be the anchor in the storm. I've said this over and over and over because we are in the midst of the chaos period now. If you're living under a rock, if you don't see it, it's going to get more and more and more intense. So the more grounded, the more at peace you are and know who you are, the easier it's going to be to get through the times ahead. So that's my little bit of health advice today. I'm going to go jump in the pool, and then I'm going to just walk around in my bare feet. Talk to you later. Bye.